Hey guys, welcome back to Beyond the Film podcast. Okay. Oh, I like that one. Definitely adding that in there. But today we are talking about X-Men. That's the name of our movie, X-Men.
That's it.
How do you feel about X-Men?
So, I have never seen the X-Men movies. I've seen like Dark Phoenix and like Deadpool, like off X-Men stuff, but I've never like sat down and watched the X-Men movies. So like when we watch these, this is gonna be like my first time live reactions. So we were just talking about it. I'm not gonna catch like all the small little things that we usually catch. Literally my first time watching it.
Literally your first time, guys. Please.
But I feel like it gives like the first viewer like questions and notes and stuff like that. So I'm like, hey, who is this person? And why is this? And then blah blah blah. And then like you go more. You're like, oh wait, that and oh okay. So like all of my notes are literally questions. Like every sentence has a question mark at the end of it.
Because we need to know.
And I feel like this is the shortest movie we've watched in like a month.
How long was it?
It was like 140.
Yeah, I was thinking like around the 90-minute.
Yeah, I was like, damn, I got through this quick.
Surprise. Okay,
maybe this podcast won't be 2 hours long.
Hopefully for everyone involved.
But I do want to say, if you have been watching our longer podcast episodes, we really do appreciate it. And yeah,
you're a real one. So
thank you.
Yeah. So, let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into on the clock. Okay. Wait, before we go on, I'm dressed as Rogue. Okay, we got the white. We got Logan here because they were kind of giving like bestie vibes.
You'll see it on our TikTok. Link down below.
Check it out. But so to continue on, I have a couple of notes that I want to start off with. Firstly, in the beginning, they're talking about in association with Marvel Entertainment Group. And I was like, I guess it's kind of like important to take a moment to talk about that. Like Thor and Iron Man weren't their first movies. Like they had this one. They have Fantastic Four. They had, the Hulk movies and
Howard
stuff. Howard the Duck, apparently. Like that was all very interesting. So it's like I kind of forget that when we're in the MCU that it's like not only the MCU. They have other movies that they have been like working on and other projects they've been working with.
And it was definitely like we're back in 2000 right now. When I first started the movie, I was like, okay, we're back in time right now.
We're not going crazy.
The graphics and like the editing and everything. I was like, okay, we're no longer 2012 anymore.
Right, this is not a 2012 Captain America movie. This is, actual 2000s. This is how their stuff is. What kind of like cringy CGI were you seeing? Is that something that made you say that?
Jumping into like the middle of the movie when Magneto was in his machine and the little...
I kind of liked it.
No. no, I did not like the scene at all. His acting in that was trash, and then like the editing on top of the screen was trash.
I don't like all the little magnetic fields,
especially. But like me first watching, I'm like, what is happening? Like I don't know what this machine is. I don't know what's happening. So I'm like, sir, what are you doing right now?
I was also very confused. I have not seen this first X-Men movie in a long time. The one that I have seen the most is X-Men Origins. I've probably seen that one the most out of all of them. X-Men Origins, and that's it. And Deadpool, of course. But
I was confused, and I was like, his acting is so bad. Like,
what is going on here?
I also like touching on stuff in the beginning. When I clicked on the movie, like the movie poster, I thought Magneto and Charles were the same person. Because they look alike in the poster. So I was like,
right. One is that his brother? Bald head.
Is that his twin? Like, what is happening here? And then like seeing, like watching Deadpool, and he has like the sister in the alternate universe. I was like, okay, he has a brother. Like he has a twin.
And this is I got it. I'm a connecting the dots.
Yeah. I'm right here.
No, you was there, but
Not all of them.
Not on the same page. In the same book, though.
I mean, they're like brothers without blood. Relationship gone bad.
Yeah, that's what I got to say. Thank you. But I enjoy how they set up the first beginning sequences. Okay, like I think that is very important to talk about. Mm-hmm. So we start the movie off like 1940s, 2 years after World War II.
Okay, right? I was wondering what this like event was. Mm-hmm. Like you can explain it to me afterwards. But I was watching the first scene. I was like, okay, what is the significance of this? Like what historical, like, are they doing like the history fiction again? Like,
that's what I was wondering too,
because they had like the tag, so it was giving like the Holocaust
camps.
Like, yeah.
So I think that, like, this is my hypothesis. I don't know for sure, but I think that it was like kind of something similar to like Holocaust reminiscent, but maybe like focused towards mutants. But like also, I feel like they didn't know that he was a mutant when they took him.
And so they took him.
Yeah,
I thought they took his parents.
That's what I thought too, but like no, because I watched the movie and then I was like, okay, let me watch it once so I can actually enjoy it, and then I can go back and take notes.
Yeah.
And so when I went back and took notes, like I'm just like re-looking at this scene, like it really looks like he's the one that's being taken, and also like it's kind of based off my knowledge from other movies, like yeah, he was the one that was being held and not them.
That makes sense because he has the little
tattoo on him. Yeah.
The marking.
But yeah, it was definitely giving like some kind of Holocaust, some kind of like prison Jewish camp situation. And
but like did he know that he was a mutant beforehand?
I don't think so.
And but like if he didn't know, then why did they take him?
Exactly. Like I am wondering exactly like why were they doing that? Like why were they all these people lined up in this line? Because like he came in with his parents, he came in with his mom and his dad, and they were all walking with this large group of people. And then baby boy gets taken, and then all of a sudden the group of people has disappeared. I'm just like, okay, what's going on here? I feel like this movie definitely has some plot holes. So I'm just like,
and it's crickets. Not like she like they set him up like to bring him there.
Yeah, like Faye was in distress too. Yeah. Daddy's like, girl, shh. Like, I don't know, we might get got next. I don't know what he was thinking, but and we couldn't tell because they freaking said, oh, they're speaking in a European dialect.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, I know.
But also a little like editing note. It was like it wasn't like black and white, but you can tell they definitely edited the scene to be like, this is back in time.
Yeah, that whole desaturated vibe.
Yeah.
Not completely black and white, but yeah, not super vibrant either. Yes, absolutely. And also it was dark, so I feel like that plays into the whole colorization of the scene. Okay, the next scene after that, Rogue's first kiss. Super traumatizing. That's messed up. Like, hey, that was uncalled for.
Can we talk about the visuals in that too, though? I feel like when I was watching it, maybe it's the jump from like black and white to like color, but I feel like that scene was extra saturated because especially since it was like not too far in the future, not giving us a particular time.
No, like, okay, right? Like how?
Like why? Like why? And
like,
then
is it 1960? Is it 2012?
So okay, I was like, okay, maybe this is like a middle scene. Maybe we'll get further in the future as well because it was like hyper HD. Like it was like really like orangey in that bedroom scene, and then when they get to the conference, it like calmed down.
I feel like that was more so because of just like her vibe. That her room was vibrant. She seemed like she had a vibrant personality. They're in the South, so you know they got a lot of culture and attitude with them. So you know,
just like that.
Exactly.
Straight to camera.
And yeah, so I feel like that maybe for that. Let's see, what's something that orange can simulate? I don't know what kind of emotion orange can simulate. It's not like nothing's popping up in the brain. Maybe because baby girl was anxious. But like it raised a few questions for me because she just touched him, she kissed him, and now all of a sudden, you know, she's taking his life force and he's about to have a coma. We
don't even know that yet, though. We just know like he touched him and now, he's having a seizure. We don't know like the.
No, not like at this very moment, but like Everybody should watch the movie by now. They're talking about it.
I just mean like me, like watching the scene.
Yeah, but like they say it later on.
Yeah. I was like, what? But what is her power?
The scene is like not the whole digesting of the scene is super important right now, but just like a quick synopsis of like what happened these first 3 scenes and like how this kind of outlines what the rest of the movie's about. And so, yes, it raises a few questions. 1, how did Rogue like hug her friends? Was she hugging her friends? Was she hugging her parents? Like,
well, they said,
how was she? Yes, hold on.
Sorry.
How was she born without killing her mom? Right? Yeah, the mom and the doctors. How does she come out without killing them? But yes, then it goes over to Jean in the Senate, and she explains how becoming a mutant, not becoming a mutant, but like how the mutant gene gets activated is because in times of like emotional distress, hormone changes. And so like that goes into Magneto. He probably didn't know that he had those powers. It just like his emotional distress of being taken from his parents and he was moving the gate. That's why that happened. And then for Rogue, she's like going through puberty. She's about to have her first kiss. A lot of emotional and hormone changes with her. Boom, her mutation activates. And I think that that's really important for the setup of the movie because like we have Magneto, the person that's trying to like have this grand plan towards the human race to like help out mutants, right? We see him as a child being harassed by these apparent non-mutants.
That gun scene was crazy. I thought they were finna kill him.
They knocked him clean out, bro.
Like they took out the gun. I was like, it's over.
It's over. Roll.
R.I.P.
All right.
We'll get into it later. I said it a lot.
About?
R.I.P. I was like, R.I.P. Never mind.
R.I.P. Never mind. Yes, you'll have to tell me all your R.I.Ps. But, yes, the next thing is that the conversation about mutants through like the political lens always gives that one scene from Utopia. Like, is this play about us? Because that's what it feels like. It's like they're talking about
Euphoria.
Yeah, what did I say?
Utopia.
Never.
I was like, I was trying to think.
I was like,
Utopia.
I feel like that wasn't right, but I was like, keep talking.
Euphoria.
Yes, Euphoria. Is this play about us? Like that is the vibe that it gives. Because it's just like,
yeah, I definitely feel like that's a huge like topic in theory everyone talks about, especially now. Like referring like mutant similarities to like minorities, and I wrote down like the human race will always fear like what they don't understand,
exactly,
like the unknown.
That's exactly what I wrote down. We will fear what we don't know,
and there's definitely parallel lines between the two causes. And I was like, it's giving racism. What you're saying right now? She's like, these people deserve to know, blah blah blah, and they classrooms and yada yada yada.
Yeah, if they want to be taught by them, if they want to have the same, and it's like, hold on, we get into Senator Kelly,
but I was like, what about the mutants? Like, what do they deserve? Like, they're still kids, human, like kids at the beginning.
Like, nonetheless, like bare minimum, they're still a child. They still deserve to be treated with equal respect and love because they're growing up.
Yeah, you're scared. They're scared.
Exactly. But like, I wonder, do people see this, like people in political powers and just like positions of power in general? Do they see this and like maybe kind of like rethink? But I'm like, no, they know what they're doing. Like they're not don't care.
You can't be that high up and be stupid.
No, you're definitely not ignorant to what's going on and what you're doing. You know exactly what's happening.
Yeah. You got a hole in your mouth?
Basically. Also, guys, I just want to say that I just got back from a trip, so my throat's a little like scratchy or whatever.
Right. Last episode, it was me.
This episode, it's me.
It's her. So
the host.
2 weeks from now, we're both gonna be fine.
Sure. Okay, so before we get into the breakdown of the plot, I want to go over a couple of character arcs. I feel like the main and most interesting and developed characters in the situation right now. That's who I really want to talk about, just so that I don't have to like keep bringing them back up later.
There it is. Sorry.
Good. I'm glad it got out. Okay, but the first character I want to break down, kind of going in like the order. Exactly. So Magneto, okay, he's the prime example of a villain having a villain good cause. Arc. Not even really a villain arc, man.
That was his. I wrote down his villain arc. Like when he got stolen as a kid. I feel like that's where it
I mean, yeah, that's where
trauma.
The trauma kickstarted, yeah. But see, that's the thing. I don't even want to call it a villain arc. Definitely a part of his character arc for sure. But that's one of the questions that I raised. Like, what is good? What is bad? Versus the hero versus the villain. Like, it's very ambiguous here. Because in the end, we do find out that's like, he's not trying to murk everybody that's not a mutant. He's just trying to be treated fairly. You know, and like it's like he's the product of a broken system.
Symbolism again.
Ooh.
But yeah, he even does say, like, he says to Charles something like, this is why, or something about sacrifices. Like, are you willing to make sacrifices? Or like, you're not willing to make sacrifices. And I wrote down like what makes a hero? Like, do heroes have to make sacrifices? Sacrifices make you a hero,
right? Because we'll talk about that scene. Because that scene was like so stupid.
Do you have to kill people to be a hero?
You know, or do you not have to kill people to be a hero? Like, what does that all really mean? But like, he has very menacing undertones with his plans, but like, he's actually not trying to quote unquote hurt anybody.
He's just he's not like a killer, like
he's not going
villain, with
malicious intent,
but like he is willing going to make against sacrifices. The greater good. Because he was gonna kill homegirl. Did not care.
Did not. So, you know, one mutant life for billions. Gotta do it.
And that's like tough question too. Like when people, the question is like, okay, if you press this button, you get like blah blah blah, like you cure cancer, but like a random person's gonna die. Would you push the button?
It's like, maybe. What if it was your mama? I was like,
you don't know. It's random. It could be you.
It could be you. Could be a little
Timmy down the street.
Right. Goodness gracious. Okay. And talking about like his powers for a second, I think that is really cool that he can create and manipulate magnetic fields. Like, I thought that was really interesting.
His powers were a little confusing to me because at some point he was flying.
Correct, and I mentioned that, and I think that he's able to fly because he can create and manipulate magnetic fields, and so he probably creates one around himself and like uses that magnetic field to push off the magnetic field that's already, you know, on Earth.
There's a magnetic field on. Is that gravity?
Not necessarily.
Do I sound stupid right now?
It's like an actual magnetic field, like, you know, with the north and south poles and stuff. Yeah, like I know that there's this one graph. You know, we'll probably put it right here, but it's like
be back to 7th grade science class.
It's like the globe, and it's like the magnetic field coming off on the side.
Grade? Oh,
but yes, I'm like, it's also that he has to be really smart to be able to figure that out, because like no one's giving anyone a guidelines to their mutations. Like, no, there's no, literally, and like he's an old man, so he's had a lot of time to figure things out.
1944.
Even before that, he must have been like at least like 9 or something.
If it's puberty, 13, 14, 15.
But remember, she didn't necessarily say it was puberty. She was like emotional distress or hormone changes. So the emotional distress was that he was being taken from his parents. Like, that is a very emotionally distressful situation.
So like, but he also looked older, so it could have been like 10 to like 14.
Basically, the point is that he was older than just at 1944. Before that. Yeah. But yes, very smart, and especially since he helped build Cerebro, so like he definitely got some smarticle particles.
I was gonna say, when I was looking at their mansion or whatever, like underground, I was like, okay, who is the genius here who built all these things? Because when they had like the map and it was like magnetic things,
I know they have such cool tech.
Yeah, I was like, who? There's always a genius behind the tech stuff.
Well, yeah, like yes, and we get to kind of see him in one of the X-Men Origins, like X-Men First Class, that's what it's called. Yeah, we kind of see like the smarticle particles behind some of the other cool tech stuff, but like Xavier is also really smart.
Really?
Okay. Professor X with his big old noggin.
I mean, I guess like makes sense, but when I was like watching him, I wasn't like,
He's so
That's a
smart.
genius.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. There were definitely some situations here where I'm just like, come on now, Charles. Like, you could have done better. And we'll talk about that. Next character, Senator Kelly.
Senator Kelly.
Lame-o.
I didn't know his name was Kelly.
Yeah, Senator Kelly.
I called him politician.
The politician. He's the real villain here. Okay, talk about a villain.
I feel like he's not a villain because he didn't do anything. He's definitely like a negative guy, but he didn't get the chance to be a villain.
I feel like villain is not only about your action, but it's a mentality too. Okay, like he is, all of his actions and his words and stuff are fueled off of fear and hatred. Like, it's not going off of, oh, I was mistreated, so like now I'm trying to,
it's giving racism.
Exactly. And it's just like, what fueled you to hate mutants so much? Fear. Like, what happened in your life where like you were like, oh, the mutants. Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. But literally just gaslight gatekeep girl boss. He's like, there's this one girl up in this one state who's invisible. What's stopping her from walking into a bank vault?
Oh yeah.
This, that, and the third. I'm just like, bro, you are literally like giving all these people random anxiety. And like,
but that's how they do it.
That is propaganda. How they do it. Fear propaganda. Yes, he's building a freaking campaign of fear and
symbolism again.
Literally, I literally wrote down like he's not unlike the politician that we have here in real life, because like he's being consumed by fear and ignorance, and he is fueling the hatred inside his body, like following this path of pride and outrage instead of trying to be compassionate and understanding and willing to compromise. Because like, yeah, the whole
compassion for sure. Like, he doesn't even see them as, like, I understand adults mutants, like if they were all grown-ups, like these are kids. And like you're saying, if it was
putting their weapons, you know like guns go to school. I'm just like, wow. And when he was talking on the phone in that helicopter, and he's like, you don't see a difference? No, I don't see a difference.
Yeah.
Okay, buddy.
And like you're saying, like it could just be triggered to, like, they could be like 7-8 years old. They have no idea.
And then like that's also a really scary situation for them, because like this is new and fresh and they don't know what's gonna happen. Like Rogue didn't know that her first kiss was gonna put that boy in a coma. That's messed up.
Yeah.
Imagine if they was doing something else. That would be messed
they wouldn't
up.
That would be a crazy jump to not touch until that moment.
It would be
for teenagers.
Absolutely. But like, what if she was a 30-year-old version? Then, you know, no physical touch.
This podcast is rated PG-13.
We should probably keep it that way. Let's move on. So, our next character that we'll be talking... No, we still have something...
You're not done with Kelly.
Exactly. We're not done with Kelly.
B-word.
Kelly. Anyway, when he became... This is not that much of a spoiler. Yeah, because, like, you know, it's later on in the movie. But when he became a mutant, bro... yeah, he became all slippery and slimy, just like his personality.
When they did that, I was like,
I know, I was like, this is the perfect kind of karma for him. At first, I thought that they were going to kill him, and I'm like, no, that's too simple. That's
I was like, why is he there to, like, okay, when I first saw that scene, I was like, okay, is Magneto just getting more powerful, and, like, he's showing off in front of him?
Yeah, I'm just like, what is happening? I was so confused.
But then when he was like going to the bar, it's like, oh, like you made him into the thing he fears the most. Which is, yeah, it's just chef's kiss right there.
Literally. And when he was trying to escape, you know, Magneto's like, where are you gonna go? Who's gonna take you in now that you're one of us? Like, you talk all this mess about mutants, and now look at you. You are one.
And then homeboy, I called him I called him a little pup in my notes. Sabretooth. You just whoops.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we'll talk about that scene in a little bit when we get to that part. But next character that we'll be talking about are Mr. Logan. Yeah, definitely lied on the first episode. Iron Man is not my favorite character. Completely, yes.
And if you don't know what story post we're talking about, you should be following us on Instagram. Link in description. Okay.
Anyway, yes, bro. I love Logan. Logan is definitely my favorite character. I completely forgot that we were not talking about only in the MCU. We were
And
talking
that's
about
like,
Marvel in general.
yeah. Well, I said Miles.
Right. I'm not saying, like, Rosie, you didn't give me the right information. I'm just saying I forgot.
I mean, I feel like that's definitely a huge character switch, though, too. Like, the type of person Tony is, like the type of person Logan is.
I feel like it's not that much of a difference. Like, yes, they have completely different character arcs. That's what makes them completely different characters. But, like, they also kind of have this dark and mysterious, tortured soul kind of vibe that's, like, still trying to do right. Yeah.
I mean,
you just don't like him, so you're like, no. Not hearing it, not listening.
No, there are definitely similarities, yes, when it comes to like this. See, but I see it differently. Like, I understand the trying to do right part. I see that similarity, but I feel like the bad part is like completely different. Like, I feel like Logan isn't a bad person. He's just a loner.
Yeah, I didn't say they were either bad.
Well, no, I mean like ego or selfish or anything that you would use to describe Tony.
Like, no, yeah, definitely not about their immediate personalities, but like more like deeper in the character.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, but overall personality, yes, personality is completely different. Character change. Even though, like, a little side note, Logan is never without the coochie. Like, just a little side note.
What?
Because we were talking about Tony and how he always got the girls, this, that, and the third, ego, all this other stuff, right? Logan, he is no better. Literally,
he is a flirt.
Like,
I was like,
he is no better.
That first scene, I was like, oh, Logan's a comedian. Like, he got jokes. I was like, no, he's flirting. This man is a flirt. And he does not care. I'm like, Logan, she has a boyfriend. Leave her.
She didn't care either.
I know. I wrote that down too. I was like, girl, you have a boyfriend. Now,
get it together.
Come on.
And not even just in this movie, but in other movies too. It
gets worse.
Like, he always got a girl in his arm, no matter what. Like, there's always somebody like, oh my goodness, Logan, I was
wondering, like, does he have a love interest? But that makes sense because they always make like the loner, like, standoff guy, like in the movies, women eat that up. They love that.
Yum yum yum.
That's very on brand.
Yeah, but getting into his character from this actual movie. Very complex and interesting. Okay, the first that we see of him, he's in this cage. He's fighting fights that he knows that he's going to win, but he still lets people get in reasonable amounts of licks. I would say generous, almost. Like, he let him beat him down, and then he just get up and bow, and like,
gotta put on a show.
Gotta put on a show, right? Whatever. I guess just a little bit, but like, I feel like the amount of licks that he let them get, like, he definitely wanted to feel a little pain. I feel like he may have a little trauma, desire to feel pain. Yeah, I feel like he deserves that.
Also, like, yeah, when he was saying whenever his claws come out, like, does it hurt? He's like, every time. And I was like, okay, there has to be like some deeper meaning to that for them to put it in.
Yes. I talk about that a little bit later when I talk about like the whole plot of it all. But yeah, I definitely think that that's something important to keep in mind as we go throughout this like branch of the franchise because yeah, Logan's a very interesting character.
Yeah, like, people say like they get tattoos because like they like trauma, like they like the pain, like the controlled pain of it.
Oh, snaps.
It's addicting.
But I definitely see him as like a abused, wounded animal, and you can kind of see how his survival mode is messing with him. Like, yeah, when
little puppy dog.
Yeah. Like, when he, gets approached at the bar and everybody gangs up on him, it's like, yeah, you better get out of here. And he's in the car and, like, he's rubbing his knuckles where the claws come out at. It's like, dang, what all is he thinking about? Because he's probably thinking, one, yeah, that hurt and that was unnecessary that, this whole situation had to happen. Why are they being dickheads to me? And, like, also I wonder what else is he thinking? Because as we'll get into later on in the movie, he doesn't know
15 years, yeah.
Yes, he only knows his 15 years of life that he's been surviving. So it's been survival, but it's not like his brain still doesn't have those traumas. Like, he still has nightmares.
And he doesn't know why.
He doesn't know why. Messed up, tortured
what
soul.
he needs?
A hug.
A good therapist.
Oh, right. That's
I don't think
funny.
a hug's gonna do it.
Yeah, maybe not. Just end up stabbing you.
Yeah, like homegirl.
Spoiler. Okay, but yeah, basically he's a big teddy bear, but with real claws. That's what I think about him. And I think that it's very interesting that there's another like super strong Meadow in this universe.
Because separate universe.
Well, yes, just in the another Marvel universe. Yes. Adamantium.
Oh, okay.
Adamantium. And
such a long word.
Vibranium. That's pretty long. Elements are like, pretty long.
Maybe because I'm used to that one. I'm like, okay, I know how to pronounce that.
It literally is spelled how it sounds. I thought I was spelling it wrong when I was just sounding it out, but it was right. I was like, oh, that's cool. But I looked up to see like how the two like go against each other, and they were like, obviously in the MCU. I'm like, okay, started off with obviously is kind of crazy because I don't remember the last time we saw Vibranium and Adamantium go against each other, but go off. They're like, Vibranium is stronger in the MCU. However, in the comics, there are situations where Adamantium and Vibranium go toe to toe with each other, and Adamantium is the winner.
Is that also like an out of world Metal 2 that came down, or was it like on Earth already?
They don't specify that information. They, from like what I can remember, they never talk about where Adamantium came from. Like they just
had it,
put it on his skeleton. Yeah, I don't know.
Or maybe it was like a chemical, like science made.
Maybe because how did they even do that? Wild. My goodness. But they're definitely setting his lore up super strong, and like they want us to keep wanting more of Logan. Like you said last episode, make movies and shows and stuff. Like you're gonna continue. More. Like let's have a future.
Okay. I approve of this favorite character.
I'm glad.
Has Rosie's stamp of approval.
We need to make that. Yes, we do. Okay. Next character, Rogue. I wish we saw more of her.
Yeah, when we were like trying to take pictures, we were like, what does this girl do?
Like nothing. She just vibes. I don't know.
But I feel like she's more of like a supporting character.
You know, that's what I thought at first too. But like thinking about it more, like they opened up the second scene of the movie with her, and like the whole pursuit of Magneto and X is fighting over Rogue and using her power to fuel the machine thing, and like this movie's backed off of so much of her trauma. She deserves more screen time.
Yeah, she's supporting them
with her trauma. That's messed up.
But I mean, yeah, if you look at it that way, like she's supporting the Magneto arc and like wanting to do blah blah and hoop blah bloop blah, and I feel like Wolverine from this movie, I wouldn't be like Wolverine's a character like he's gonna be the it character. Like I wouldn't have watched that and got that opinion.
From watching this, I want to say that this is a really good like first basis movie, kind of like introduce all the main players, and then like it kind of builds up from there. And I think that it's really interesting because when we look at the MCU, they gave everybody their individual movies, and then they gave them their movie like that. But for here, we got the team together, and then they show the breakdown.
To go, like backwards.
Yeah, you got to go back in time. You get to go in the future. Like it's a whole different crazy bounce around. Yeah. And I think that it's really interesting because, like we were talking about DC and how what they do is kind of unsavory with starting off with Justice League and like then trying to go with all the other different movies, like how they
that's how they do it?
Yeah, like they started off with Justice League and then they kind of like went into individual movies. I don't know, it was kind of a strange situation, but you know, it's another example of not
DC
going
just did it wrong.
They did it differently in a way that
but if you're saying they did it similar to the X-Men and they still suck,
they did something. They should do better next time.
I will say, I definitely wrote down it was interesting though to like not know Wolverine's arc, because watching them now, you know that Wolverine's a huge character, but like you're figuring out him as he figures out himself.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's a really cool and interesting way to like be going through these movies. Very like, yeah, undercover main character.
I feel like probably Rogue gets more important as the movies go on. Like you see more character development and like more character arc. No?
Yeah.
Oh, she just stays a supporting character?
Basically, like a little bit of a spoiler, but like, yeah, for X2, we see a little bit of her in there, but like, yeah, we don't really get more into her powers, like into her character. Like, I think that she's a really cool character and she has a really cool power, like being able to absorb other people's.
She could stop a villain with the touch of her hand.
Literally. And like, talking about her powers, I think that it's really interesting that she took on some of Logan's characteristics when he was like helping heal her at the end. But yeah, very interesting.
That would be really good to go into. Like maybe she touched someone bad and then like she turned
the villain.
Yeah. So, but they did that with Phoenix though, right?
I don't know. I've never seen that movie actually.
That's the first movie that I watched.
Surprise. Yes, I know. Very ironic. That's what I was thinking.
I like to start at the end and then go backwards.
Right.
I did that with
MCU. Yeah. That's your kind of vibe. That's all right. Just wake me up when everything's finished.
It's about the journey. Like that's why I don't mind spoilers so much. Depending.
Right. We talked about this before. So we said don't go around trying to spoil crazy.
Yeah. But like the important stuff is in the middle. Like how you get there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he died. Okay, how did he die?
Very poetic of you. Love that.
Thank you.
You know me.
It's not about the destination. It's about the journey.
Last character I kind of want to discuss before we get into the plot. Charles Xavier, a.k.a. Professor X. He definitely gives, like, wise all-father vibes. But,
Who's
like...
off? Oh, never mind.
You got it. But like, yeah, he still makes mistakes though. He still acts a little bit childish. Not even gonna lie. And we'll get into like some little points where he does that later on. And it's like, yeah, we don't really get much into his character in this movie. Like I said, very good like introduction movie, kind of getting everybody out there.
Yeah, when I was watching, I wasn't like, wow, this man's a genius. Like he's so wise. Like it just felt like it's his school. So he's in control, and he's just there. Because he wasn't even at the freaking Statue of Liberty. And then when they come back, he's like, yeah, we did it. I'm like, bro, we.
No, literally. I wrote that down, too. I'm just like, he was asleep the whole time. Yeah. Wakes up when all the hard work is done. Great job, guys. Okay.
And she's like, yeah, we did amazing. Because I will say, though, I feel like he's like a father figure.
Yeah.
Especially to like the main three. Like they look, especially homeboy was in there crying on his bed. So like I got you. Like you did everything like, for me.
I will teach the kids. But it's like that's very understandable. Like these kids had nowhere else to run and they had him.
Yeah.
You know, so
I mean I get it. But I was like, wrap it up.
Wrap it up. See, they need to be able to show the emotions. But basically, like, for all we know right now about his character is that, you know, he has a pretty cool power. Be able to do things like that and then be able to amplify with Cerebro. Like, very amazing. He's pretty smart, like, for the most part.
And also multi-layered, too.
Yes.
Like, being able to, like, see where someone is and, like, being able to be in someone's mind, read their mind, speak in their mind.
Wild.
Yeah.
And he don't play about his kids. 3 main things. He cold, he's smart, he don't play about his kids.
I was wondering, I guess it's not that far, but like when I was first watching the scene where Logan like woke up in the school, I was like, okay, how far is his range? And like how many things can he do at once? Because he was teaching a class.
No, literally. So like his brain power definitely has to be pretty he's definitely probably using like, you know, 95% of his brain capacity.
Okay, does brain power equal smarts though?
See, that's why I was like, because he's using his brain capacity, yeah, it doesn't mean that.
Are we supposed to just assume that he's a genius because it's not like given?
Well, I feel like also with the subject that he was teaching the kids, you know,
physics.
You know, tell me how much you know about physics. I think that we can call him smart.
Physics is like an 11th grade class. Like you just have to go to college. You don't have to be a genius to teach physics.
No,
you just have to go to school.
I'm not saying he's a genius. I'm just saying he's smart.
He's definitely smart, but I just feel like because being in the MCU. Like, we've seen geniuses.
So we've seen genius, and this ain't it.
Like, Tony.
So I'm docking you a stone just for that.
Tony is definitely a genius. Like, Banner is a genius. Like, we know what it looks like, and you see it right away. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they didn't give us that with, what's his name?
Charles.
Professor.
Yes, I definitely agree. And
what other movie did we watch in 2000? Oh, like Spider-Man 2, Peter Parker.
I feel like it's also because like a part of me wants to say I feel like because the movie is about everybody and not just about him, so we can't just focus in on like all his aspects and how he's so smart and how he's so this. But then like I want to take that back a little bit because in Avengers we still see how smart Banner is.
I was gonna say like just thought of this on top of my head. There's like a movie like this where you have to focus, like where they're trying to give each character their time, does like take away from the character in a sense, where versus like with the MCU where you said they were giving each person an individual movie and then we saw them together, so we got to see more of a character, more of the character development. Do you think we're like missing part of that when we do it backwards?
I feel like we may be missing some of it in the moment, but it's still all planned out very meticulously. Like they still have the vision, like they have the roadmap, and not vision, but like they have their roadmap, and they kind of just decided to pick a place to start, and it was like, okay, we're gonna start here in our roadmap, and we're gonna exactly, okay. But like nonetheless, still keeping on track of what they're doing, and like the storyline that they're trying to tell. Because as we watch the movies where like they go back in time and then they go back forward and things like that, everything makes sense.
Are they like time traveling? Or is like the movie going back in time?
A little bit of both.
This is so confusing.
It's gonna be okay. Well, we don't even need to worry about that stuff. We just need to worry about this movie. I think that you'll like those movies when they come up.
We'll see.
Anyway, so moving forward, we talked about the first 3 scenes already.
Yeah. Well, we didn't talk about. Oh, we talked about the conference a little bit with Kelly.
Well, let's talk more about that. Let's talk about that. Do you have anything to say about the interaction between Baby Girl and Senator Kelly?
Jean and Kelly? I didn't. So the first scene with Jean, I didn't know who she was. Like, I didn't know she was a mutant advocating for mutants. I just thought she was some random politician lady at the thing. And they were just talking back and forth.
How did that make you feel?
Didn't make me feel any type of way. Like, I
actually did care. You were funny.
I wasn't focusing on like them two and how they were going back and forth. I was focusing on Kelly and like the symbolism, like with racism and like minorities and stuff like that. Like that's where my brain went, not with like, oh, she's a mutant and like I didn't think I was gonna see her like again until she popped up and she almost got choked to death. So
she did. I'm just like, oh, saps.
Before that, though, she was like rubbing all up on him. I'm like, girl,
what are you doing? And it's like, I don't know if they told him about. Or maybe she could like see.
Okay, she's not that good.
I shouldn't talk in here, but yes, I know that she's not that good. But like, she can move things with her mind. So maybe she has this different kind of like.
Oh, maybe she felt the metal in her.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm gonna try to give her the benefit of the doubt from that right there. But I just think that she was impressed by his body. Her man don't look like that, and she just like
her man don't look bad though.
She just don't look like that. Because I mean, obviously she like how Wolverine is looking.
Don't make him your man if you're not gonna be loyal to that man. Like cut him loose.
Period.
And that's a saying for life.
So moving on from that point, there was the moment with Magneto and baby boy Professor.
But did he? I don't think I was paying attention enough. Did he invite him there?
No.
No.
He just was there.
Okay.
You know, like he's like, this is important information for me to know on whether I should go forward with my plans. Like, let's see how they're still acting. And once again, more lore being set up, the relationship in between Charles and Magneto.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like seeing it for the first time, like being a kid, I remember like equating. That's what I meant to say. I was about to say like equivocating, and I'm like, I feel like that is too big of a word for this situation. I don't think that word like means what I need it to mean. Anyway, I was equating Magneto to like this villain, scary. He's the bad guy. He wants to kill the people. Mm-hmm. Professor X is the good guy. He wants to save the people.
But it's not always that black and white.
Correct. And we really see like how deep we don't see how deep their relationship goes, but we know that it's deeper than just like this surface level cat and mouse game. Like they have a stronger, more complex relationship with the topic at hand.
We definitely see like the relationship with each other, whatever words you were just saying, in the end though, like when they're playing the chess game, like for him to still go and like be there when he doesn't have to.
Yeah. For sure. But moving on to the situation at the bar, you know, Rogue has run away. Mm-hmm. She is now in Canada somewhere. She was trying to follow her plan.
Yeah. Right. Remember, you said you're going to take me to Lundenburg or
whatever.
Like,
this is that, girl. Which I don't know what you was expecting. And I'm like, what was she expecting? They had Google.
A city.
She could have looked it up where she was going.
Did they have the Google in 2000?
Yes.
But we don't know that this is the time. Technically. Somewhere in the near future.
You're right. Mama downstairs playing piano.
Could be 1980.
Sure.
Because it was 1944.
Right. That's still 40 years later. Yeah. Like, how old are they?
How old are they?
Like, are there mutations making them age slower? Like, what's going on?
Well, we know with Wolverine, yes.
Yeah, but that's because his mutation is that he can heal so fast and so rapidly. So, like, it's healing all of his aging cells or whatever.
But, I mean, they have gray hair and everything.
Yeah, but they're still, like, I mean,
he's not fighting nobody.
Old, but like
he's not, kicking toes and
Magneto is though. He out there going wild.
Well, he's just using his brain. Like he's not actually like using physical stuff. He might break a hip.
He could just make a new one with Meadow.
Exactly.
But at this bar thing, okay, we get Rogue and Logan's like first interaction. I feel like they kind of have this underlying strange sexual tension. Not necessarily like, oh my goodness, like we're about to do something crazy, but more like Rogue has this cute little crush on him.
Okay. I can see that. And definitely like at the end, she's like, yeah, that little girl's really fond of you.
Are you jealous?
Yes, she is.
Like, girl, you got
a whole man.
A whole man.
A whole man.
If I had to say that she wasn't my girl.
He ate.
But then he still said it. So goes to show that's not his girl.
No. He ate.
Correct. No, it's not his girl.
No, he ate.
He's still her in the end anyway.
I was like, period. He ate. Cyclops ate that up.
Cyclops. But I thought it was also really funny when the TV was like, oh, the mutant phenomenon, this, that, and the third.
Yeah, you can definitely see
they side at each other.
Well, I feel like you can definitely see on her face that she's like freaking out. Like, okay, what if someone figures out that I'm a mutant? Yada yada. But we don't see it on Wolverine's face. Like he's like stone cold, like
whatever,
chilling. Even when his claws came out and the gun was to his head, like his face didn't show fear.
Well, I don't think that he was scared because what would he be scared of? He can't die. Like,
I guess, yeah.
And he can fight it. He can take all of them at the same time.
Well, pause. I guess.
But yes, bro.
I guess that like makes sense. The difference.
More so annoyed. Like now I gotta leave. I
didn't even get my beard.
Like, all because this guy's a sore loser, and now I gotta out myself. And now this guy.
Yeah, like, I know what you are.
Great. Know some more. And like, also, how successful did that man really think that he was gonna be? Like, you literally just got your A word beat by this man, and now you think that you can take him, but there's no logical thinking here.
No, his ego was hurt.
Right, and
his pride,
brain cells got knocked around a little bit.
That too. That him cutting that gun in half was crazy. I was definitely like, okay, how is he gonna get out of this? Like, he's gonna get shot.
He's gonna get shot. You are so funny, bro. Okay, but moving on, you know, you're talking about Logan's character arc. Another reason why I said that he's like a teddy bear with claws. I didn't want to mention it beforehand because I wanted it to be like in the plot. When he gives Rogue the ride, you know, he hears her in the thing. He's like, what's going on? Also, so cool that his hearing is like so acute, like so heightened. I think that's very interesting. Definitely giving like animalistic Wolverine vibes. And he's like, oh yeah, don't care, not my problem. Get out of my truck. I gotta go. And he goes down the road a little bit, but then he's like, let me stop.
I feel like that's just human decency, though. Because you can definitely tell she's a child. I was like, you gonna leave this kid on the side of the road in nowhere?
Right, yeah, but like, who's to say that people have human decency? We live in this world, like.
But so, I'm just saying, like, it's the right thing to do.
Correct, and that's why I'm saying
the bare minimum.
His character arc, it gets
is the bare minimum.
No, not the bare minimum, because it's just like he's shown as like such this aggressive person. It's like, oh yeah, I don't care about anything except for myself, and it's like, actually no, that's not true. Like, I care about the safety of this child, and like, you know, actually being a good person, even though it may not be super apparent, I still do care about people.
I feel like I'm seeing his character different than how like the world is seeing his character. Because like when I look at him, I just thought he just wants to be by himself. Like, he's just a loner. Like, I don't see him as like someone who like doesn't care about other people. Like how other people portray him, like angry, like aggressive person. Like, that's not what came to my head. So that's why like my thoughts are different when like these scenes come up.
I feel like it's also because like, yeah, you're taking it in all of it in for the first time, and like, it's hard to just separate the plot from like the underlying of what's going on, because like, you know, you're digesting it all for the first time. I feel like it takes like, you know, 4 times to watch these movies to be like, all right, I think I got the director's cut here in my hand.
I just need the director to sit down with us and tell us what each thing means.
You know, go by frames,
all these zooms in. I saw that zoom in. What did that mean?
Tell us.
Please. He's like, I just thought it would look cool. No.
Get out right now. We're done having this interview.
That would be really cool though, to like review a movie with a director.
It will be cool.
Period. The brothers, what their names?
The Tuso brothers? I don't know.
I think their last name start with an R.
Russo brothers.
Yes.
I'm like, it's something Uso.
Or the one, the
Takiti Wakiti.
Yeah, because his stuff is more like comedic
and bright and fun. He did Thor Ragnarok and Love and Thunder, but still, you know, light and fun.
I like Ragnarok. Love and Thunder was okay.
Let's not even get into that right now. Anyway, though, next thing that we have going on in the plot here, they get saved, right?
Yep.
The saber-toothed man is attacking them.
I'll ask after.
What are you gonna say?
Aren't they brothers?
No. That's a different character.
Really?
Very similar mutation in like powers. Completely different. It definitely is not like set up to be like, oh, this is supposed to be his brother, but it's just a different actor. Like, one, that's not the actor that plays his brother, and I feel like the relationship would have been so different based off of like how the brother acts. So even though Logan wouldn't have remembered, like the brother would have said something. This guy was kind of like nonverbal. Logan's brother is very talkative.
So his brother does have powers, though.
Correct.
Okay.
Very similar to Sabretooth.
Okay.
Very.
Because like I remember vibes. A brother.
They get saved, and they're being dragged out. Like, how did all of this occur? Okay, they're in this random road in Canada, nowhere. Mm-hmm. We know that Magneto's after this girl. How did he find out about her powers? How did he know where she was going?
Yeah.
How did Professor X?
Well, I feel like the same way Professor, because they work together, so I feel like the same way Xavier finds these mutants, the same way that he does.
I feel like no, though, because Cerebro is involved in finding the mutants. Like it's
that's why.
Yeah, like Cerebro is to amplify Charles's powers.
Maybe he has like his own, or maybe
I think maybe it's just like his connections. Mystique, she can be anybody, anywhere, at any time.
Or maybe like how long has it been since they stopped working together?
A long time. They separated when they were really young.
Never mind. I'll say maybe he did it before they separated.
But no, because like it all happened pretty fast. Like it was her mutation activated and then everything else happened in domino effect. Like the only far in the future thing that happened was the 2 years after World War II, where we see Eric, aka Magneto.
See, this is why we need dates. But they didn't put dates for a reason. But like makes it so much less confusing.
Because like, why would they think it was important to put dates for there, but then not dates for here? Like, why keep it so ambiguous?
Exactly.
It's a question. Anyway, though, they're in like
Canada.
Well, they get saved or whatever.
Right.
We're done talking about that. They're in
bye Canada.
New York again. Okay. Once again,
New York. I didn't know they were in New York.
Me neither, until I was looking at their address on the outside of their building, and it was like, oh, so-and-so New York. And I'm like, no wonder they can get to
which is very interesting for current day, because they're trying to mix mutants and the MCU.
Yeah, like,
that would definitely be very interesting.
And I feel like, to be fair, though, because I was also thinking about this, but it wouldn't be fair to try to, like, hold them too accountable for that because of like the whole timeline jumping in Deadpool. Like they had the Tempad, but like how realities.
How canon is that going to be?
Is the jumping of reality?
How canon Deadpool going to be in the MCU?
I don't know for sure. So like, because
there was plot holes in that.
Yes, there was, and it raises the question: like, are we really going to have mutants in the MCU? And it's like, if we are, and Deadpool's not going to be that important, we're going to need a new, like, kind of
main person.
Not new main person, but a new explanation as to why mutants are now all of a sudden in the MCU.
Or maybe
like, all this time.
Maybe they'll keep it like the one universe that Doctor Strange went to, and they were already mixed in a madness. Maybe. Anyways,
but yes, like, we're in there. We already talked about baby girl rubbing all on him, all sexily.
Did she get choked?
She probably liked that. That probably made her want to touch him even more. Like, because after they keep going, they keep flirting. And she just keep flirting back with him. I'm like, so you like being choked. You are anyway.
PG-13.
Who said it's not? Okay, but no. And like, he is escaping. He found some clothes. Like, he's running around. Charles is whispering in his brain. He is so childish for that.
And he's listening.
He is listening. So part of me is like, is he listening? Because yes, it feels like he is listening because he ends up in the same room as Charles.
Or is he controlling?
Correct. That's
another thing he can do.
Yeah, he can freeze time.
He can freeze time?
Yeah, you don't remember him freezing time?
When did he freeze time?
Oh, when did he freeze time? He was freaking. When did he do that?
Are you skipping ahead in movies?
Maybe.
Yeah, he didn't freeze time.
I felt like, I think I'm thinking of just the gun scene when the guns were in the air, but Magneto had the guns in the air.
Yeah.
No, he stopped that bullet.
That's not freezing time.
That's not freezing time, but he did stop that bullet. And it's kind of,
I thought she was, like, when he was looking at her, I thought, like, was she trying to, like, overpower him and failed?
Who?
Jean.
I don't think so. Then
why was she there? Girl is useless.
Bro, he can't drive. He is paraplegic.
Oh. He could have brought Storm or Cyclops.
Why don't you like Jean?
I don't not like Jean. But the thing is, like, we know she has these mini powers. Like, they could have made it so she was trying to, like, stop the bullet herself or stop the gun so they could, like, get one up. And then you see, like, no, she's not strong enough. She's not stronger than Magneto. They could have had that
possibly
interference.
They were like, this is not the time for that. We got other things that we're
she just put the stupid helmet on and passes out.
See, the way you talk about her is not convincing that you don't not.
I literally wrote down, I was like, okay, one, I need to stop calling them annoying female leads because that's really mean. I'm gonna start calling them badly written female leads because it's not their fault. But I literally wrote down there's no badly written female leads in this movie. Like, I like them all.
Yeah.
Stamp of approval.
Yeah, Logan was really in distress. Like, he's like, okay, someone has attacked me. They took my little friend that I had with me. And
my little friend.
Because, like, it's not his girl. It's not his kid. You know, just a little friend that he picked up on the road.
He's like parental, and I don't think he doesn't even realize it.
Yeah, definitely, like, giving Big Brother vibes. And I question about that a little bit later on. But as he's running through this, I'm like, who is funding this? Who is making money and how to keep this school operational?
Well, no, if they're runaways, then not the parents.
Right. And so I think that Charles is a scammer. He can read minds. He knows when the market's going to crash. He knows when to pull his stocks out. Okay? He's a scamming genius. We don't ever need to work a day in our lives. We'll have the Brink truck bring us the money back.
Do they farm or anything?
I don't see no farm.
Because they're like self-sufficient.
I mean, I guess, yeah, you know, solar power energy, things like that, but...
Oh, well, maybe the adults just have real jobs. And then, like, they donate back for the younger kids.
Maybe.
Because he's like, yes, some go to be in the X-Men, and some just live normal lives.
Yeah, so you're like, not necessarily the X-Men, but, like, some do become teachers and eventually end up being with the X-Men. But,
oh, yeah, so you don't have to pay the teachers because they live there.
They get lots of free things.
I guess just like food and running water.
I guess, but like also
electricity.
Yeah, electricity. Like, you know, the engineering of
is
all
he
of
rich?
These. He is definitely well off. They kind of established that in the earlier movies, but yeah, like that doesn't say anything about what he's doing now. Like. He had his parents' money when he was a kid.
Maybe he saved.
Maybe he
stock.
We don't
and then he's investing.
Right, controlling the market actually. So that's one of the other things that he's doing. Wild.
He doesn't give that. He doesn't make those type of sacrifices.
Not sacrifices of life and death, but he will take your money. It's a scammer.
But that could be someone's life and death because now they broke.
Not his problem. His kid's not broke. Oh, he care about his kid.
He don't make that type of sacrifices.
You don't know that.
Magneto knows.
So now we're moving on. Okay, we already talked about the situation in the house. It kind of jumps back to Senator Kelly being in the helicopter and him being taken over to Magneto. What do you have to say about that?
I knew right away, homie wasn't real. I feel like apparently I watched like half this movie already. Don't remember doing that.
Right.
But like just the way he was acting, like you could just tell like he wasn't himself.
Obviously, baby boy don't know his people for real.
And what's his name? This is my first RIP.
Yeah, I don't know his name because he dead.
You can keep talking because I gotta find it.
But yeah, I thought it was very cool first look at Mystique's powers. Like this is the first time we see Mystique. R.I.P. Henry.
R.I.P. Henry, and he's actually stays dead.
Yeah, because he was dead. Been dead for quite some time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's like he don't know his people for real because how you know, whatever though. But yeah, I think it was very cool first look at her powers. Like, and we kind of also get sexual undertones for her character because like,
really,
yeah, like, just. I don't know. I feel like she has that sexual allure with being basically completely naked in her blue form. You know, she reveals herself. She got her legs crossed, all kind of alluring, and yeah,
that's very
her boobies are out.
Is that like? Do you think that's like weird 2000s female sexualization, or you think that's on purpose?
That's a part of her character. That's
okay.
How her character, like, that's her default.
Like a siren type.
Yes, definitely siren vibes. And like, now that you mention siren vibes, like her hair always kind of has that wet look. Like when she's in her Mystique form, she has orange hair and it's always kind of like slicked back. That's not a style choice. That's just how she appears. And I think that's very interesting because as we move on in the movie, we see her become the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
I thought that was very, very cool.
Me too.
Because from my recollection, we don't see her become an inanimate object throughout the rest of like the X-Men universe. And so I thought that was really cool. And
like her powers are really good.
Yeah, very interesting. And like the fact that she was able to
do the claws.
And then it like makes me wonder, are the clothes and like the accessories, are those parts of her body? Because when her claws got slashed off, it hurt her.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's very interesting. Mystique is very interesting character.
Do you know why they changed the actress?
Me
neither. Yeah. I thought you would know.
No.
Because I was like,
I didn't look that up.
Because when I know Jennifer Lawrence is her. So when I watched this movie, I was like,
you're not Jennifer Lawrence. I definitely was thinking about that while watching this, but I was like, maybe it'll be more appropriate to bring it up
because I looked it up.
Change.
The first actor does like 3 of the movies, and then Jennifer does the rest. So like something had to happen. It wasn't like Rhodey, like where you're like, okay, he just doesn't fit or whatever. That I don't even remember.
It was
what happened.
The money.
Oh yeah, whatever. You know, it was like no, like we like her. She's a good person, good actor, or whatever. And then like. Maybe she got pregnant or
maybe she just wasn't feeling it.
But like
I hope she didn't die.
I feel like that cash no, she's not. Because the franchise wanted to shift to a younger cast and new narrative arcs.
Interesting. All right. Oh, what I wanted to mention about this, dude, when they were getting ready for bed, okay, it's the first night there. Everyone's tucking in.
Oh, right? That was the first night.
I do believe so. Okay. Because she's showing him his quarters, let him know where everything is, that and the third. And he's like, oh, like, where your room at, girl?
Oh, yeah.
Trying to see where your room is. My room with my man.
Now she want to talk about her man.
I was like, oh, let me read your mind. Let me touch you while I read your mind.
Her powers are weak.
I love how you go from defending her to like talking all this mess around her. Oh my goodness!
I'm just pointing out the facts here.
But yeah, there is
maybe
arm
she wasn't so friendly,
and insinuations and smirks and longing looks.
She's also doesn't say a lot. Like her and Storm, I didn't know Storm had an accent until the train scene.
What kind of accent? Like a New Orleans kind of accent?
Like island accent. Yeah. I was like, this girl got an accent. Like, they don't talk much. And the only reason Cyclops starts talking is because he has beef with Wolverine. Like, they're just kind of there.
Yeah.
Until, like, the end.
Yeah. Definitely think that they're just trying to, like, show us everybody. But, yeah, I thought it was interesting that Storm didn't really talk much. And, like, as we were talking about this, it flashed back into my brain that horrible like one-liner that she was trying to do when she was electrocuting the frogman, and she's like, what happens to frogs when they get hit by lightning?
They get electrocuted like everybody else.
I'm just like, yeah, that was trash.
Well, that
maybe next time.
That whole fight scene was trash.
Yeah, and just like,
because
why was she had him levitating in the air and just kept him there for a good long second, let him build that spit up. You could have threw him across the wall, did something.
See, yeah, I was watching. I was like, they're not a fighting group. They're a rescue group. They don't know how to fight. Like, just because you have powers doesn't mean you know how to fight.
Right, like how to be in combat. And
yeah, and I was like, these people suck. Like, this scene is hard to watch.
Or like, also, I feel like they're freshen this. When's the last time they had to go out like
exactly.
really fight?
This feels like first mission type stuff.
Definitely like new to this. Probably just been doing a lot of simulated situations.
Rescuing kids I feel like it's what they know. And then like once I feel like now that we're getting into like movies, it's like, okay, now you got to like learn
Buck
what
up.
to do. Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, those walls are so thin at the school. Like he was not even like,
okay, but
being all that loud.
Is it just maybe it's like a connection thing? Because like, how was she the only one that heard him?
Maybe she was having a hard time sleeping because it was her first night there.
But like, what? Like Charles didn't like get up in the middle of the night and like come to his room.
Also, we don't know how close he was. Like they were pretty close in proximity.
Why would they put a grown man next to young girls' quarters?
I don't think that they were separated by girls. It looked co-ed.
Kids' quarters.
Non-threatening. Like he was already been in his brain. If he was a child predator, he probably would have kicked him out the school.
I guess.
But yeah, I thought that was really
I just saw it as like a show into like these two are tied.
Yeah, like they definitely have some kind of relationship bond. Because like even if she was awake and heard him, like she.
I have a name tag, a dog tag.
Oh dang! Where's that?
It's at home.
Oh
God! I literally just remembered because you said at the end he.
Yeah.
Just the dog tag. Damn.
Could have gave me the dog tag.
Sorry, y'all.
I got a silver necklace. You want to wear it? No, I just haven't seen. But yes, I thought that whole situation was very.
I've never been in the military. I don't know why I have that. Anyways.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I want to know how she knows that she was gonna heal. Like, I feel like they don't really go into her learning her powers, and especially since it's like the first day. All she knows is that when she touched people, they get hurt.
Well,
that was all the information that she had gave us, and like that she felt she knew.
There's still like this gap of time though, like from her kissing the boy to her being in Canada. Like maybe she discovered herself.
Maybe
she ran into other mutants.
I doubt it.
They're everywhere in disguise.
Right. So like I doubt that they were having mutant to mutant interactions. And like when she,
or maybe she was in class or maybe they like scanned her. Yeah, like they did with Wolverine.
That's what I was wondering as well. Kind of get a digesting information about how that whole thing works. Because she made it a point to not touch him when she was trying to wake him up. But she gets stabbed. What?
No, continue.
She gets stabbed. She gets stabbed, and like she held on to get herself healed. He's like, holy cow, is this close to death?
It's like you warned me, but like Jesus. Okay, I should have just said it because now I forgot. I don't remember.
Tap that third eye.
Oh, how why? Going back to Charles not being like all knowing, he was like, "Yeah, I don't know why Magneto's after you. Like I have no idea. Bro. Like it just doesn't. Like nothing's making sense. Like I can't figure it out." And like he completely neglected that there's another person
I literally
involved.
Get into that a few points later because it's just like, hold on, just 1 second.
Okay.
But you're talking about Senator Kelly. He escapes. He goes through the bars and stuff. Because like that's the next scene after this before they show her running away. And it's just like, bro, he dropped him and he turned back around. Like there were no words exchanged in between the two of them, but like we could see the whole conversation. Like that drop happened. He turns around. He's like, Magneto's has this expression of like, oh, success, we got him. And then
he's a little lost puppy.
Like, hey, I just got this shoe. Magneto's like, okay, you stay in the cage today.
My thing is, from what it looks like, his shirt got ripped.
Yeah, so like sleeve, whatever.
How the heck did he end up on the beach naked?
Because he turned into a little slime ball, slipped into the ocean. Who knows how far away he was from whatever beach that was.
Your clothes just came off while you were swimming? Or did
Maybe
he
they
like float?
dissolved.
Like what?
Because he was his glob monster self. And then it's interesting because I think that the difference is that he only went like slightly glob monster, you know what I mean, before he slipped through the bars, and so his clothes were still able to stay on. But since he went full glob monster in the water,
they slipped
just
off.
Drifted far away. And we got Tommy here. He's poking at the jellyfish.
Also, how does he know? Does the government know that Xavier's school is not actually for the gifted? Because no, he was looking for a gene. Never mind. I was like, how does he know how to go there?
Still, that's a great question. How does he know that Gene is associated with this address? But I get into that also. So yeah, Tommy, he's poking at his jellyfish, and baby girl's begging him to stop. And I think
I didn't even see that symbolism.
And I was like, yeah, I think that this is very important here to like kind of put in our brain that he's jellyfish-esque, because they don't show him emerging out of the water and re-becoming a person. They just show Tommy stabbing his jellyfish, and then we see the shadow of him becoming a man. And then also Stan at the hot dog counter.
Yes, hot dog stand, hot dog eating stand.
Oh snaps! That Stan is eating hot dogs. That's funny.
Stan at the hot dog stand.
But more trauma for Rogue. Okay, this boy that she likes, she finds it interesting.
I know.
And he's like, yeah, the professor is so mad at you. Like, you need to leave. I'm just like, you need to leave. That's messed up. Because like that happens. But before that even happens, like she's trying to wake her friend up, and she gets stabbed, having to hurt him.
Didn't even hear the whole story. Like she's trying to explain, and Bobby's like, no,
because that's not Bobby.
I know. Afterwards, I was like, oh, that's not Bobby. I was like, damn, Bobby. I was like, never mind. I say never mind so many times in this movie.
Because they tricking with your mind.
They are.
But, yeah, like, she stabs her friend. She hurts her. No, she gets stabbed by her friend.
Yeah.
And then she hurts her friend to try to get better. And now, like, she thinks
now her other friend telling her to get out.
Yeah. But yes, like you were saying, once this moves forward and we get past this point, they're discussing in the basement. I don't know what he wants with Logan. Like, there's other powerful mutants out there, and I'm just like, you literally said when they first got there that you weren't for sure if he was just there for Logan, and it's like if they got there together, maybe we can use our deductive reasoning here, Professor. So that's like, yeah, he's obviously not all-knowing father because he's still a human.
But he's also still makes like mistakes. Older too. Like you think he'd be more wise.
That's his old age.
Like
was there his brain?
Is there a lack of like maturity there though?
Or that's like, what growth? I wonder about. I wonder about his maturity levels because like not trying to talk too much about other movies, but just like knowing what goes on when they flash back to like younger versions of him, it makes me question his maturity. But so, as Mystique is like roaming through the halls here, she goes to Cerebro and she changes one of her eyes to be like Charles's. And I'm like, one, is there any kind of like other security things that Mystique can't replicate? Because not even a little bit of a spoiler, but like Professor X and Mystique, they know each other. Like he knows of her, he knows her powers. Like he knows that she has the ability to manipulate her appearance. So why would you just base it off of a retinal scan? Like, I don't know. I feel like DNA, like her DNA will still be her DNA no matter who she changed into. So maybe it should be like that. But he's like, I use it so often. I'm not really trying to prick my finger every time I'm trying to come in here.
Well, we just talked about how he's not
all the way together up there. Yeah, he got so much else going on.
Maybe he has too, like Magneto was saying, he has too much hope in people, too much faith.
Yeah,
like she would never come in here and jeopardize anything. Yeah.
And like at first I questioned how did she know where to go and what to do exactly, but I'm like Magneto probably told her, because he helped build it. But also
she would have to like watch them for a while to know that Bobby is Rogue's friend. Like they would have to have extra information. They have to have someone watching her.
And I feel like that is like what I was saying about, they found out like who she was and like where she was going. I think Mystique just like, a fly on the wall. She can literally change into anything, and so she's able to just kind of observe and see what's going on. Because, yeah, definitely had to be watching him for a couple of days and, like, knew when the right time was. Because how did you know right now was the right time to tell her that she needs to leave? Right. How did you know that that situation happened? At least they didn't kill Bobby, though. Correct. And I am happy about that. Bobby didn't deserve to die. But I kind of just had, like, this silly question. If Mystique was to fully embody Charles, would her legs stop working? Like, I would really like to know that.
Does she... That's a good question. Like, what all does she take in when she changes into someone?
Yeah. And
like, if someone has asthma, does she have asthma too?
And it's like, does she have, like, knowledge of
I don't think she has...
minds?
I don't think it goes that far.
Me neither. But, like...
Maybe she just has, like, current knowledge, because when they're in the fight scene, she's like, yeah, we have to, like, go find blah, blah, blah.
Exactly. But, like, that also makes me think of...
She also has to smell.
Exactly. He was sniffing her out, which, you know...
Which I feel like it's part of his abilities. Like a dog instinct.
Like I was saying earlier about the hearing. We got that all together. But, cerebro. I'm very intrigued about that. It means... It's a prefix.
I was like, what is that?
A prefix, whatever. It means relating to the brain. I'm like, oh, very intriguing. Like, they just named the whole machine
brain
related to the brain. Yeah, it relates to the brain. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Don't worry about it. And
how did they build that room? It's like a
Magneto can control metal. How do you think they built that room?
An awning into nothing. How tall is it? How deep is it? Like,
he can control metal. That's the answer. There's nothing else you gonna get.
I just think this scene also, like, the one after it is so short. I'm like, why isn't there more to it? Like, he falls out the chair, he's in the hospital scene, and it's a zoom in on Cyclops being all sad. And then you skip to the next scene. I feel like there should have been more there. Like, that scene was 5 seconds long.
Yeah, what else? What more do you want?
Something. Give me some juice or something.
What kind of juice are you looking for?
I don't know. Them finding him and, like, dragging it, or, like, taking his scans, or, like, some dialogue. Yeah, it just felt too quick to me.
Maybe they did have things in there, but they didn't want to make the movie too long. Yeah.
The movie was an hour and 40 minutes. They had 20 extra minutes.
Anyway, though, to continue on, I was wanting to say that, like, when they were talking about Cerebro with Wolverine, and Jean is like, yeah, like, oh, I can't really use it for someone like me. Scott was like, it's dangerous. And I'm like, is it dangerous for Jean herself, or is it dangerous for the mutants that she would be connected with? It's like her powers are so, like, they're very strong. It's not necessarily that she has weak powers. It's just that her powers can be very uncontrolled, and they're so strong. And that's why, like, she has to be very reserved when she tries to do stuff. Because she can't get out of control. Yeah, I mean, you saw Dark Phoenix.
When it came out.
You don't remember that?
No!
But I thought it was cute that real Bobby cared about her. When they were walking, he was like, yeah, like, I was supposed to meet her for lunch, and I don't know, she just didn't show. I'm like, aw, cute.
Because, yeah, cute. He gave her a rose. It's like, you're safe now, or whatever the heck he said. You're home or something.
You home with me, baby.
No.
But, like, also, why can Cerebro be so easily manipulated? That's not very cool.
It was just, yeah.
Like
plug back in.
Like you said, he has so much faith in.
But he also didn't build it.
I mean, he did. He built it with him.
Yeah. So but like, knowing this information, I feel like he was just there, and Magneto did all the work.
Why do you feel like that about him? Thinking the worst. You are not assuming the best in people.
Charles isn't giving what he looks like he's supposed to be giving.
Cause he did all the work. He done got put in a wheelchair. Why he needs to do so much physical work?
Why is he in a wheelchair?
I'm not telling you that right now. You'll have to see. But they do show it.
It's gonna take me like 4 years. It's gonna take so long.
You remember it's about the journey. You just know that he's in a wheelchair.
I just figured he was born like that.
But Rogue and Logan definitely have like a big brother little sister relationship that we see in this part of the movie, because like he goes to save her, well, not even save her, but just comfort her, let her know like, hey, look, I'm okay, you don't need to like know.
And he making sure that he's the one doing it. Like he was like, no, like we'll send Storm
like,
and
stay
Cyclops
here because Magneto's looking for you. No, he's not.
Like,
he's
what if
looking
he wasn't
for
there? What if he wasn't there?
I mean, she still got taken.
I know that's that's only because he's made of metal.
That is, if he was not made of metal, if he didn't have that metal put into him,
he was the only one to find her. Like,
yeah,
they were up in there in the train station.
They're talking to the conductor, not even the conductor, but the ticket man, talking about she's about my height, brown hair. You know how many brown hair girls he done seen in this
brown hair station? White girls.
This is New York. Can you please get it a little bit together? Magneto is hilarious. He's like, you want her to blast a lightning bolt into a copper, like, you know, metal amplifier. He's like, I thought you lived at a school. That is the best way to call somebody stupid. Like,
because they're not.
If a university student is talking at you crazy and you know they live on campus, I thought you lived at a school. Like, it's not giving living at a school.
It's self-taught school.
But no, Scott himself though, he's just like, he's just there. He just vibes. I've never seen him teach anything. So it's like, it's fair for him to be stupid.
He's on the X-Men.
Yeah.
He's on the rescue crew.
Right, but that doesn't mean he's a teacher.
No, I mean that's his job.
Right.
Not like he's just sitting in a chair watching people in the hallway. His job is to like, maybe his job is like make sure everyone's safe and like comfortable. Maybe he's like a big brother to the kids. Not everyone has to be a teacher.
Just kidding.
Not everyone has to be a teacher.
At the school to be important, they just need the school.
Also, he probably might be there just for Charles. Cause like he definitely sees him as like this father figure.
Like he has his relationship with the school is not just him as an adult. Like he had a relationship with the school as a kid and stuff.
I know that.
Look at you. But from that train situation, the last thing that I want to say is like, I wonder what is fueling his desire to protect her. And it's like, it has to be a natural instinct.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those, okay, now you're my responsibility. Like, I took you in the car, we got kidnapped together, like you're my responsibility. That's it. Like, get back to his, like, not caring about anyone else. Like, it's just, as long as she's good, he's fine.
Yeah. And it's very beautiful because, like, he don't really know much about her. They don't have, like, a super strong, like, tie that they show us on camera, where it's like, oh, they built this relationship with each other and, like, they're connected so immensely. It's more like, I'm vibing with you.
Unspoken.
Yeah.
I tried to watch Logan about, like, when it came out, and I know from Deadpool that him, and I don't even know her name, homegirl.
Jean?
No, the little girl from Logan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have, like, a relationship, and I think, like, for the future, because I don't know anything right now, I think it'd be interesting to, like, compare him and Rose's relationship to, like, him and her. Because, like, me not knowing anything now, I feel like there might be, like, some similarities or, like, some symbolism in there with, like, the type of person he is.
Definitely. I agree. We should talk about that later on. Absolutely. But talking back again about that fight scene that they had, like, in between the two of them, Magneto and Big Boy, what's his name? Professor. Like,
with the cops.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, pretty cool powers and strategies on both sides. However, like, Magneto definitely won the fight here, obviously. But, like, even before then, like, he already had, like, such a superb advantage because, like, of his mindset. And he's willing to, you know, murder all these people, murder all these cops, right? And see, I feel like if Charles really wanted to get Rogue back and he wanted to, like, mitigate damage, maybe he should have made the Sabretooth man take off his helmet. And then he could have controlled Magneto's mind.
He did. I don't think he knew he had the helmet on. Or he was like, yeah, like he did something like block my powers to read into his mind.
Yeah, that was earlier.
I feel like he didn't even try Or maybe he tried. I don't think he knew he had the helmet on.
He to a certain extent, like, he can see beyond of what he can just see with his 2 eyes. That's how he was able to know which good.
Or maybe this just goes back to him not using his full brain power.
But to finish talking about it, he was like, "Oh, you're trying to read what's in my mind, Charles," and he points to his helmet. So, like, he basically tells him the reason that you can't understand is because of this. And that's what I'm saying. Yes, he's not very smart. He's not making the best strategic decisions. Because, like, yeah, you could have taken him off. You could have knocked him out or something. Like, I don't know. You could have waited a little bit later to get him over there. Because, like, there could have been so many other ways he could have taken to get Rogue back.
Honestly, maybe, or, like, with the knocking out, maybe he doesn't want to, like, maybe he still sees him as his friend. Like, maybe he doesn't want to hurt his friend. But, like, taking, because, like, if he couldn't read his mind without the helmet, then, like, taking it off wouldn't make a difference.
I mean, yeah, because the reason that he can't read his mind is because of the helmet.
But, like, he couldn't do it when they were at the conference.
He had the helmet on.
He did?
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing that.
Well, I was pretty sure that he had it on when he had showed him, yeah. And then, like, once he was out and they were talking face to face, I don't think that he had the helmet on, but he was fishing through his brain. And, like, I think that he could sense it because he asked him, like, "Oh, what you looking for up there?" He's like, "I'm searching for hope."
Is this gap in Charles, is this on purpose? Or is this, like, a writer defect?
What do you mean? What kind of gap?
Like, him not using all of his brain power. Like, is it just to, like, keep the story going on? Because, like, obviously he can knock him out and, like, roll credits, you know?
Right.
Or maybe it's just on purpose.
I don't know. It's not given on purpose. It's given stupid. But I feel like it's more so about, like, yeah, not willing to make those kind of sacrifices and, like, building up Charles's character and, like, making us question who he is, like, what we think is good or wrong, because it's like, yeah, they make it very ambiguous about who's right and who's wrong, because like we said, it's not like Magneto trying to commit mass extinction of the human race. He's just trying to get them to see from a mutant point of view and being like, we're all evolving into this, so like, stop being dickheads and let's be friends about it.
Magneto is someone who thinks strategically, though, because like, when I found out about the machine, I was like, oh, he's gonna turn the whole world. And he's like, no, I'm gonna turn like the top politicians, like the people who have the power.
Yeah.
It's like, period.
Literally. But it was divine intervention when Kelly showed up at the door when he did. But yeah, definitely begs the question, like, how does he know about this? Like, is the school public access? Like, how safe is that? Like, how much do they know about the school on the outside?
I feel like the people don't, but I feel like the question is if the government does.
Cause like, right, like, do they pay taxes? Like, it's not like they're on some foreign soil. Like, they're in America.
Because if they're lying to the government, then yeah, they have to pay taxes on that property. Even if you own it, you have to pay for water and yeah, who is paying for that?
You know, great freaking question.
Also, sorry. I would say, I feel like the scene already happened, but I like the scene where he dies. Did this happen already? Okay, never mind. I'll let you keep going.
But yes, definitely divine intervention for him to show up when he did, because Logan was about to leave. He's like, "What? I'm supposed to dress up with you guys and like go help find the girls. Like, you're doing so great by yourself. Like, why would I stick around for this?" They're like, "Well, help us out, like, please." And he's like, "No." And he was about to leave, but then boom, Kelly's right there, so it stops him in his tracks, help him regroup, and then we can continue on with the movie. Like, I wonder how it would have been if Kelly showed up like an hour later. You know what I mean? Interesting. And then also very, like, he has such his audacity is crazy here. Like, he showed up on their doorstep expecting help from these people when you've done nothing but like,
well, he's
demean them and just like,
he's still the same person.
Yeah, I'm just pointing out how audacious that was.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely think that Jean was a little silly pants for going out and testing out Cerebro.
Silly pants, crazy pants.
Because like,
and the slow
I
was running to the door.
Man.
No.
And like, did they even check to see what was wrong? Like, did they already fix Cerebro? And like,
also,
this is just what happened?
No, there's a scene of her fixing it.
Oh, okay. Maybe they show it differently on Disney Plus than they do on Prime because they didn't show.
They didn't show the scene.
They didn't show her fixing.
Well, yes. People love to do that. Take clips out after it's been released for you. Anyways, I also find it very convenient though that the med room is right across the hall from the cerebral room.
JIC.
Are there any other rooms in there?
Yeah.
That was rhetorical.
But we already kind of talked on this about like how technically advanced everybody is there, and we already kind of like broke down the whole fighting in the Statue of Liberty.
Okay.
Pretty anticlimactic. What do you have to say? Oh, about him dying.
Yeah. Yes. So the scene where he died and he was like I just want someone to be here. I thought he was finna kill homegirl. I thought she was a goner. Like I thought he was finna go up there and choke her. And then he died. Yes. And then he died.
Puddle. I was like,
gasping for air. Drowning. Because he was gasping for air.
Yeah, drowning on his own body.
That's crazy.
I wonder if he tasted like himself.
Salt? Oh. Yeah, someone who actually died. Again.
Yeah.
Not to the public though.
Right. They still think he's alive.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, never mind. And then I saw the eyes. I was like, oh, never mind again.
So when they get to the torch, when they get to the Statue of Liberty, Scott knows that Rogue is in the torch, and I thought that was really interesting. So like, does he have X-ray vision? My mic keeps turning off. But yeah, it makes me curious about his powers and like what else he is able to do.
I wonder if he can smell other mutants. And like just doesn't say anything. Like, does everyone have like a distinct smell? He's like, hold on, there's someone else with us. Like, is it just her? Does her powers give her like a unique smell? Oh, I forgot to say this. Okay, before I've ever watched these movies and stuff like that, I used to get her confused with Avatar. Because I've never watched the Avatar movies either. And I was like, what is going on? Like, why? She's blue and they're blue. And I'm like, what is happening? Anyways, that's all I have to say.
That's really funny. And from this, I also wanted to say that, like, once we get to the end of everybody fighting and the whole climax of it all, one, how did Magneto not die from giving her so much of his powers? Like, Logan was about to die. How did Magneto not die? So that makes me wonder about, like, his abilities. And two, when Logan was, like, you know, touching her skin, trying to heal her, what made her, like, start healing? Like, did she regain a little bit of consciousness? Like, I don't think that she did it herself personally, but just, like, she started waking up, and then that's why she did it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he was touching her, trying to get her to heal. And then there were scars that reopened on his face and stuff. I was looking at Rogue. She didn't have any scars on her face. So I am curious, like, was that from him and Mystique fighting? Okay. Interesting. Yeah, then that really goes to show how much of his mutation and his healing is in his genetic code. Because it's just like, even though, like, it's not like all his wounds from life were open. It was like the most immediate wounds. So that was really interesting.
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy. Really, the last thing that I have to say here when they were playing chess is, like, he a little bit of a gangster, okay? He's like, he, as in Meadow, is like, hey, aren't you scared somebody gonna come up in there and try to take your kids? Like, they're gonna pass a law or something like it, and they gonna come up there and take your people. And he's like, yeah, that do scare me. And sometimes do wake me up at night. But I pray for the poor soul that come and try to take my kids. I'm like, oh, so he said, I wish an N-word would pop up in my stuff. I smack him real quick.
He's giving, like, the way he acts isn't giving his age. Like, I feel like there's definitely maturity missing. Like, if he was, like, 28, 29, like, everything that he's doing, the lapse of, like, thinking would make sense. Like being, like, I'm scared, but, like, I'm gonna do something about it if they show up. Like, that gives younger person energy. It doesn't give. I'm guessing he's probably like 60 to 80. It's not giving old wise man. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Any closing thoughts about her?
I feel like reading this. I would say the only thing, I'm very curious why they like pump faked us so much with the deaths. Because I think I wrote down, I think I said it 6 times, where I was like, oh, they died. Never mind. Oh, they died. Never mind. Never mind. Like, I'm very curious why so much. Because, like, once is, like, huge impact. Like, it makes the scene. Like, when Mystique dying makes sense. And, like, coming back to life. But, like, everyone else, like, what's the point?
Why? I think that goes to play into the mutating in general. And, like, they're not that easy to kill. This is not just some regular group of people. It's going to take a couple more hits for them to really bite the dust.
But when Wolverine dies, he dies.
Well, yeah, that was...
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, so there's so much into why he died. But, yeah.
All right, let's give her a rate.
Yes, I do really like this movie. Definitely got docked some stones for, like, plot holes, a couple of cringy acting, just like, you know, some questions unanswered, but want to give her a chance. He was, oh my gosh. And then the magnetic field, I'm like, okay, y'all did that or whatever. Like, great job on trying to not make it transparent. Like, just made it super duper in our faces. Like, great. But I would definitely give her, like, 5 stones. Because I'm pretty biased. I do like the X-Men. I like Logan. I know where it's going and, like, how much goes into it. So, like, I'm excited for that. And, yeah, I like them the most.
Okay. I gave it 4.5 Infinity Stones. Couldn't tell you why. That's just the vibe I was getting. So, yeah. Close her out.
Oh, yeah, man. Thanks for listening to another episode. I hope this one wasn't too long for you guys like our last ones. Like Rosie was saying earlier, we do really appreciate you guys listening with us and vibing with us. And I hope you enjoyed. I hope you had a good time. If you were a mutant, what kind of mutation would you want to have? What kind of powers would you want to have? Let us know down in the comments below. Okay, all of our all of our social media handles. All of our Instagrams, all 15. No, all of our social media handles will be down in the description below. Okay, go listen to us on Spotify, rate us on Spotify, please and thank you. If you like this one, give us a thumbs up here. Okay, what else am I missing?
Subscribe.
Yes, subscribe, please, so that you know when we come out. But you should already know because you've been watching for so long. Every Tuesday.
Every other Tuesday.
Every other Tuesday. You know the vibes. Okay, but that's all. That's it. Have a great day, guys.